Okay, this is part 2. So the Word was not the first. It wasn't the first in the beginning. It was not the beginning. Although the Gospel of John says otherwise. There was also no Om. At the first, no sound was necessary. And then as time went on, no word or words were needed because the silence spoke. The quiet hummed the through line between God and man. However, as I've already discussed, people were peoply and always have been. So there came a time, who knows how long ago, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years ago, perhaps, when the noise of language frayed that through line. The noise, the language, was the first taste of power and the subsequent seeking of more of the same. It's like it was the first non-drug drug. In the form of subjugation of others to create the perception of a barrier of access to God, and other peoplely behaviors became kind of the norm. Bless our little hearts. And we created stories. We created stories about, like the one about karma, or about roles in our primeval movement of all things, as a way to feel some kind of control or bring some kind of understanding in the midst of the tempest. Whether the stories are about time, the cause and effect of behaviors or things that we can't see, defining the ineffable to feel less ignorant or smarter than others, mending tears in a community's fabric or preventing those tears. Like, some of those stories have had great use, and they're their own medicine for many, many people. Storytelling is more than useful. It's often praiseworthy in how it expresses the ways we see the world, the ways we wish for the world, and our experiences of it. And there are ways in which we can escape or inform ourselves of the world for a few pages or chapters or tomes at a time. However, when ancient fiction becomes a noose rather than a guide toward greater understanding and love, it loses its usefulness. I'm not going to rehash the stories of my early relationship with God. I began writing about that long ago. And I will say that I've gone from feeling and saying out loud, "What would you have me say, damn it?" to whomever, to, "Oh my God, let's be serious," to now, okay, like, if I am on this thing, how come I'm not supported in the ways that those who say they are, but actually are not? There's also this awareness through a string of stories and experiences, like, this is not unexpected, except what people have been expecting, and how and what this is not what they've been expecting. That's a whole nother thing entirely. I want to share that this emergence, if it's true, does not exist in a vacuum. It is neither fairy tale-like, although kind of biblical, and it's not an indictment. Again, it is not an indictment on human behavior or particular human behaviors. And I want to say that really clearly, because people really want blame and somebody else to take responsibility. They want clear rules and roles that maintain their comfort levels. So this is merely an answer to a universal prayer that does not fit convenient or conventional stories, and it doesn't give any, annoyingly enough. Like, I have asked again and again, why now? Like, give me something. Because I've had this feeling that whatever the fuck this is, if I don't have a basic understanding, like, a label, although there is one I'll talk about later that comes close, I have pushed and pushed through strings of questions, especially for the past 5 years. Nearly all of them related to human behavior. Is it because we do this? Is it because men do this? And over again in 12 bazillion times, 6 ways to Sunday. And each time I've been met with silence until recently. And so what smacked me upside the head and heart like a freaking universal dodgeball is this. We are the only creations that limit God. We create any number of barriers, even with our mere definitions of it. And it appears to me now, if it is true, that this thing is representing itself in yet another way that is visual, tactile, and it's not dissimilar from the past, but there is an awareness that this iteration knows how to perpetuate itself without limitations, using a human voice again, but also technology that is available now, so it cannot be forgotten, so it cannot be distorted, so it cannot be manipulated and maligned, although people will try, because we can't help but be people-y. Bless our little hearts. So I made a video a few months ago outlining some of the definitions I was using, and I'm going to edit that just a bit here. So God is not consciousness, as most spiritual types define it and describe it. God is the impetus, the catalytic and perpetuating energy that propels all things, including consciousness. And consciousness is not all things, doesn't give two hoots about humans. God does not tell all things how to be or tell consciousness what to create. Like, that's not necessary. That natural propulsion does that in this ever expanding universe. Although God does tell some of us how to create and what to create, and pulls us away from things that are no longer necessary, and then shoves us back in when we least expect it. I also want to say there's not some little tiny piece of God in us, but there is, we are as much God as we are air. Like, there's not some little tiny piece of us, but we are never without it. We are tied to it. And as I've been told it and interrogated it for years, y'all, for 16 years. As I've been told it, I am the 249th person to experience this human expression of God, this hybrid, whatever we want to call it. Most are familiar with Muhammad, Jesus, who was the 213th, by the way, as I've been told, and Buddha. Many less are familiar with Zarathustra, Tekanawita, and Saint Spiridon. And none of us know the stories of the 240-ish other people across the globe that have, for their own time and communities, brought the through line of God to their time and place and people. I am not them. I don't want to be like them. There is no Nike commercial here. I don't abide by the rules of the game of religions or organized faiths, and have absolutely zero interest in creating another one. I just don't. I am, however, a full-time practitioner of the social contract that most of us agree to. Do no harm. My perspective is different from the 248 that have come before me, in that I am female. I am speaking to a potential community of 8 billion people rather than 8,000. And I come with a skin color that offers the protection that comes with privilege. As I've been told it, I am the first woman of this line. I have no framework to work from because I have no spiritual or religious foundation and don't want one. I have nothing to counter these other things or create as many of them did. Like countering their systems was their creation. And Jesus and Muhammad wanted new religions for their own reasons. I have no interest in that. I have no ego or energy in that because largely in part, I have seen how what they have created has been purposefully and wholly detrimental for women and girls. However, there are similarities between all of us that are this way, that have become this way, that have become this thing. Whether or not we are contrarians by nature, I am. We run contrary to many social norms. Each in our own way have been miraculous healers using relationships with the elements and alchemy, plants, water, ground, ancestors, God, and more to heal others, individuals and communities. We have each had a personal relationship with our own myriad awarenesses that others don't have, and with God. And we understand the enmeshment, although we've each experienced it and articulated it somewhat differently. None of us have wanted it. Each of us has wanted to die because of it. None of us has been given a manual for the job or occasional memo that would have been useful, although we do receive very specific instructions along the way, whether it's from God, from Gabriel, a tree, whatever. Like, this process of becoming has very specific instructions, and we've got the balls to do it, and we have the sensitivities that pain tender hearts, but we move forward to create the change. We move forward no matter the fear. We move forward because what are you going to do? Argue with God? Technically speaking, this individual Ingrid has no pony in this show, so to speak. Except at a deeper level, I do. And in the same way I must paint and heal and breathe, I am this thing being created. But my questions to the God thing and about the God thing are as numerable as yours. And I interrogate responses and conversations with God to the nth degree before sharing. Most of this is undefined. Currently, I am an underemployed healer. I am missing and murdered Indigenous women focused with a smaller focus on the Sinaloa cartel and Indian gaming. And apparently I'm also the beer of the word that isn't the word. And that's probably chief thing at the moment. But I move through the day just like everything or everyone else until something else is revealed that shows how all of this fits into the practical lived world for myself and others. So this seems to be the point where I've evolved from this hearing before there was I was fly out of my mouth in 2008. Or in 2008, in a more recent, what would you have me say, to the understanding that there isn't an exterior message, that the interiority that is me, all of this is me, but subsumed by creator and creation, which is its own story, is the actual message. And somehow, this thing that I don't quite believe, perhaps, is incorporated into the global world, the practical world, just as it's been in each iteration before me. And so here we are. And whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Whether I believe it or not. Yay. And since it's all going to happen anyway, I may as well just be myself in it. And maybe that really is the whole point. Maybe the whole point of those of us this way is that we can't create the change by not being ourselves. We must to move the needle, to reintroduce love. More on that next time. Okay, bye.